Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Hey, everybody. This is the second episode, but really the first official episode of Full Auto. I am Paul Gordon, and I have our co-host here,
Dimitri.
Just still going with Dimitri. Haven't invented a nice, clever...
Dimitri.
Just Dimitri. That's what he's going with. So in this show, we're going to talk about drones and how Israel couldn't stop a drone and what that might mean for the rest of us.
That's
okay.
What it means for the rest of us.
Well, no, there's some good sides to it too. And then we have a fail to report in two knifings, one in Japan and one in France, both of which illustrate why it is that you don't disarm free people. And then we're going to talk about a threat with Governor Brown, who's created an unenforceable law in trying to get people who make homemade guns to actually register their guns. And there's more to the story, which I know Dimitri is really excited about one part of that, which we'll get to. Super duper. But don't worry, we're going to end with a win, and it's connected to Pokemon Go. So it's about gun protection and Pokemon Go.
Is it a win-win?
I think it's a win-win. Not so much for one of the people in this story, but
it's a win-lose.
It's a win-lose, right? Exactly. Well, no, it's a win-win-lose. We win, they lose. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get you all nice and toasted up for this first ever episode of Full Auto from News Shooting Self-Defense.
News Shooting Self-Defense presents a State of Wake joint. Grab your beer, your ammo, and your Clipperzine Glockomatic as we take you through a full auto hour of fast, funny, deadly, serious talk about guns. If you cry when someone draws a picture of a gun on a piece of paper in front of you, you best stay away because you are about to enter a gun-filled zone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Full Auto with Dimitri and Paul.
Got my gangster guy here, yo. What up, cuz? Break yourself, break yourself, break yourself. Cuz.
This is the Ghost Gun. This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks more than 3 ranges, and yet it's legal to hunt humans.
Say hello to my little friend.
Australia just said, well, that's it. We're not seeing that again, and imposed very severe, tough gun laws, and they haven't had a mass shooting since.
You know, semi-automatic weapons are not just about guns, this is about national security. You know that these weapons can shoot down airplanes.
Break yourself, break yourself, break yourself.
The big difference between an assault rifle and a hunting rifle is, frankly, the scope that one puts on it, and scopes can be purchased online.
I want to see people disarmed. I want people disarmed that are major cities. How's that for a plan?
We cannot let a minority of people hold a viewpoint that terrorizes the majority of people.
Could have been done on spur of the moment with a hunting rifle, very easily, as long as it was a double-shot weapon. They could easily do it with something that you could purchase at a grocery store.
Say hello to my little friend.
The Second Amendment is in the Constitution so that we can have muskets when the British people come over in 1800.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel like it? Well, do you, punk?
Break yourself. cuz?
Full Auto is intended for purely entertainment purposes and in relation to any actual person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. We are not responsible for the results that might befall you should you ever actually take our advice about anything. Full Auto is a Dipcot no-gov licensed show. This means you are free to reuse this content any way you see fit, so long as you are not a representative or advocate of government. For more information, go to dipcot.org. And now, without further delay, here are your hosts, Dimitri and Paul.
Dimitri, are you still here? He's not here. Dimitri, are you sure you're here? Are you ready? Do you want to just jump into this, or do you got something that you want to?
Let's do it. Let's start with you reading stuff for the audience. That's always exciting.
He loves it. He loves it when I read. So I read every night to him. This is Al Monitor. Is that how you say it? How do you say that?
Yeah.
Al Monitor. Who sent mystery drone into Israeli airspace? The Israeli Air Force is not used to failure. Thus, the Corps, which had become synonymous with excellence and meticulousness, has been in a quandary for the last 10 days. On July 17, it launched 2 Patriot missiles at the unnamed aerial vehicle, also known as a WAV. That's UAV. I think they mostly say UAV, but I prefer to say WAV.
That's what it means? I thought it was Arabic. WAV.
WAV! Did you like that?
No, not at all.
All right. And it penetrated Israeli airspace over the Golan Heights zone, and the 2 Patriot missiles, the 2 Patriots, that sounds weird. They should say Patriot missiles. They shouldn't say the 2 Patriots missed their mark. It just sounds racist. An F-16 fighter jet was also dispatched against the mysterious WAV and launched an air-to-air missile at it, but also missed the target. To the Air Force's great consternation, the aircraft succeeded in turning around to disappear into Syrian territory as fast as it came. And that qualifier there, as fast as it came, that gripped me. That made me want to read more of the story. But I'm not going to read more of the story because I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. That's it. That's all. You know what? Actually, listening to your little sound effects is better than the little snooty remarks that you usually give when I read. So, you know what? This is a win for me. You doing sound effects for this is a total win for me. So, on a serious note here, what do you got? What do you got? Why don't you start us off with this one? This is a big juicy. I want to see. I've been training Dimitri in how to think and use critical thinking. I want to see how well he does. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got nothing.
You got that's it?
Go ahead.
You got nothing. Come on, do your thing, man. Go ahead.
So there's so much to talk about in terms of the drone, the 2 missiles, and the F-16.
Yeah, it's not like that was just like one missile and done. It was...
This is bad news.
This is bad news. It's not just bad news for Israel.
The question is, was it a stealthy plane and not a drone? If it was a stealthy plane...
If it was a stealthy plane, they wouldn't have known about it.
No, a stealthy
the dirt
plane.
Quality.
A stealthy plane.
I don't have any sound. I gotta get sound effects. I would have like a boing sound effect when you say stupid things.
A stealthy plane
boing
would have a much smaller signature than a standard plane. So who has stealth aircraft in that area? Well, you have potentially the Russians, and let's not forget the Chinese, last I heard, had an aircraft carrier sitting right outside Syria in the eastern Mediterranean.
So are you theorizing that they didn't see a drone?
It is, but yeah, I'm thinking they didn't see a drone. And they may have had jamming devices on this thing because the Israelis missed it 3 times.
If they didn't see a drone, then our story is stupid.
No, then the story is crazy because...
Well, this isn't a world news show. This is a defense show. So this is about the power of drones to circumvent powerful state defense systems. See, that's the story here. You get that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you with me, right? Because
wait,
I don't want to go
what?
boing.
Wait, what?
Boing. Don't always reach for his sound effects machine. There he goes. Oh, you don't have one. Oh, he doesn't have one on him. Oh, there we go. That's the stupid sound right there.
That's Paul. When I do this, that's Paul picking his nose.
And you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with me picking my nose, and I refuse to be judged for picking my nose in public or in private, for that matter.
Dude, you got a problem. You got to
well,
just pick it already.
I don't have a problem. I enjoy it, so it's not a problem. It's a problem for you because you don't like to see it, but I do not have a problem.
Drones.
So drones. If I'm assuming the F-16 made visual contact with it.
Dude, if an F-16 made visual contact
and it still got away?
It got away? Who's flying this F-16? Like North Koreans?
I think his first name was Dimitri.
Yeah.
But let's go with... Listen. For the sake of the show, let's not worry about facts and figures. Let's assume that this was a drone. Let's not go down the path of whether it was a drone or not. Actually, you kind of ruined my story now, man. Because this is about...
That's what I'm here for.
This is about a relatively cheap technology.
You should have passed this by
did.
me.
I gave this list to you.
And
the
that
list,
was your first mistake.
Like 2 weeks ago.
That was your first mistake.
Giving you the list?
Yeah. You gave me all the ammunition I needed.
Oh, I see. I see. I'm willing to bet that it was a drone. And I'm not going to accept your stealthy plane theory because the stealthy plane theory means that we probably have to go on to our next story because this is totally irrelevant now. And I refuse.
So you're
absolutely
saying,
refuse to accept that.
You're theorizing and surmising?
Sure, why not? I like surmising.
That the drone is a simple technology that defeated the Israeli Defense Force.
That's what I'm theorizing.
So the big Stady von State bases...
Stady von State bases, right.
...failed to knock down a primitive and simplistic
No, we love Stady
device.
von State bases. We say it with... That's a term of endearment. You know that.
It is?
Yeah. We love Stady von State bases. We're pro people.
What about what you were saying earlier? Like
pro human beings.
Down with the state.
I don't know what he's talking about. Listen, if NSA is listening...
We love you, NSA.
Yeah, this is
especially the hot blondes.
That dude is totally mirroring. That's what you're doing right now.
What?
You're reflecting your own reality on me. You're projecting. That's the word, projecting. You're projecting
Drones
your own reality
do.
on
Why do you keep like?
It's what I do.
Kinda,
it's how I run things. Okay.
Do you have some kind of like condition that doesn't allow you to focus?
Yes.
ADD?
It's called Dimitri's around me, and it's hard to keep focus when Dimitri's
ADD.
around you. It's called
adverse Dimitri.
Exactly, it's called adverse Dimitri dementia.
Yes,
adverse Dimitri. It happens to all.
My
of
wife,
us.
my poor wife.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I don't even know how that happened.
Drones. Drones. Dude, focus.
But no, I thought you meant you use drones to get your wife.
No.
That's where I was going with that. But what we're seeing is, again,
you're repeating what I said.
Cheap technology. I started the show. I started the segment with this because I gave you a chance to come up with the concise and analytical depth of thought in seeing how this fits into our show, because this is full auto. This is about self-defense, basically. It's not just handguns,
firearms,
and
you're going down the drone road.
And the drone road is
stealth.
What do drones mean now? What do drones mean for people who want to control other people? The good and the bad.
Well, the upside is it makes it harder. The downside is you can shoot people from far away. You can be on a different continent and blow them up. And watch them getting blown up. Blown up. Yes, blown up.
Blown up, yes. But the...
Again, with the but... Dude, it's like you're doing... I
love the word but. It's one of my favorite words.
I love my.
Wow. So
big.
So what if I say so instead of but? Will that make you feel better?
So butts?
So but.
But so's.
What if I say but so and What if I say
but
but so and
and.
But so and you know.
We are failing in our primary duty to enlighten people.
I think that they're being enlightened right now with the words that you can do or that you can use when you're not quite sure what the next word is that you want to say, and so you delay. You delay for a millisecond before the next word comes into your head.
Okay,
that's what that is.
That's
focus.
What that is. Let's focus on the show.
We're focused on the show. We're doing
the Israelis
drones.
failed to shoot down a drone.
That's the bottom line.
Both with Patriot missiles and with F-16s shooting whatever they're shooting.
Right, and I'm not buying your stealth theory.
It could have been a stealth drone as well. You know, those exist.
Except that they found it, so it would be not stealthy.
Except they couldn't shoot it. So maybe it was projecting its...
It's a small target, and it's not giving off a
large heat signature.
Large heat signature, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be stealthy at that point, wouldn't it?
It would be what, stealthy?
Stealthy.
Oh, they said selfie.
No,
it would be stealthy.
If it's hard to see, it would be stealthy, right?
I don't believe it was hard to see. I believe it was hard to hit. Because it's so small. Drones are so small.
Okay.
So now they're going to have to develop technology, micro technology.
Well, they're going to have to create a missile that blasts something like
baby
a shotgun.
Missile.
Like a shotgun. No. They're going to have a big missile, but look, typically speaking,
I think they're going to.
Missiles,
what I think they're going to do is they're going to have missiles that, when they get close, they explode and turn into like goo that covers the drone, or like a net that spreads out.
Well, half of what you said already exists. When the missile gets close to the target, it explodes before it actually impacts.
Yes, but now it could, instead of being an explosive, it could be goo, or it could be nets that fly out. I don't know why we're helping these people. Why are we helping the mega people?
Can you stay focused on the drone?
I am focused. This is actually relevant.
This is our
to
show.
This is relevant to this. This is the balance of power shifting. This is the evidence. To me, this is the evidence of the balance of power shifting from large, expensive offensive system to small, cheap defensive systems. This means more and more that the small minority that want to control the vast majority are going to find it more and more difficult to do so unless they authentically win their support. That's it. I thought you were going to add something to it, but that's all you got. So on that note, we're going to go ahead, and while we're gone, I will be waterboarding Dimitri. He's earned it. And when we come back, we're going to get to the second story.
Are you sick and tired of peaceful people being banned from so-called Liberty events? How about Liberty festivals that are more regulated than a government housing area? Now you can do something about it. The Michigan Peace and Liberty Coalition is proud to announce the 4th annual Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest. It will be held Friday, August 26th through Monday the 29th at the Circle Pine Center in Delton, Michigan, just outside of Kalamazoo. There will be canoeing, kayaking, hiking, fishing, swimming, presentations, discussions, and bacon. Lots of bacon. This event is both adult and family friendly, and best of all, no overbearing central planners. There will be free Freedom Fiends and Bipcop merch while supplies last. And don't forget the longer leashes for the Bow Wows and Woof Woofs. Round up your friends and family members and get them registered today at mplfest.org. That's Mike, Papa, Lima, Fest.org.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. While you were away, I proceeded with a healthy session of waterboarding, and I think that Dimitri is going to begin to behave himself just a little bit more. How about that, Dimitri? You feeling a little bit more cooperative after that session? Yeah, he is. He wore him out.
Dude, are we back on the air?
Yeah, we're back on the air.
That was a nice nap.
Yeah, oh, that was no nap. You know, I should have recorded the cries and the screams and the mommy calls. There was a lot of mommy calls there.
Dude, don't call mommy. She'll be coming. Your mom will be coming down here like...
Boys, what did you... I told you to be quiet if you want to have one of those podcasty shows. Boys, you have to be quiet. Paul, did your friend want a sneakity snack?
So we're going to get to the second story here. And actually, it's two stories, and I'll just touch briefly on the both of them. One is the ISIL knifeman who slit 85-year-old priest's throat and took nuns hostage, shot dead. Did the second victim die? Did both priests die, or did I don't remember the follow-up to this. This is from France, and this is the story from the Telegraph.
I did not get any of that in what I read. All I read was that one priest was murdered and decapitated on the altar
said here
of his church.
Yeah, he wasn't fully decapitated. He was only, quote unquote, only partially.
Oh,
so you know, a little that was a moderate ISIL, but this isn't about Islam or. This is about the fact that the dude walked into an area that was a total gun-free zone, and with a knife, he was able to, with just a knife, he was able to completely take over the lives of the people around him. And then the second story, which ties right into this, is the Japan knife attack. And this one's of a far more epic scale. This is from CNN. And this happened, it happens July 26th. Japan knife attack, at least 19 dead. They were killed and 26 were injured in a stabbing spree at a facility for disabled people west of Tokyo, making it one of Japan's deadliest mass killings since World War II. And America holds the record for the mass killing in Japan. One day, over 100,000 kills. But that's another show, another place. But again, we're talking about a pretty much gun-free zone. Japan is mostly a gun-free zone.
The guy was nuts. He wanted to eliminate people with deformities from the earth. Sounds like a Democrat, actually.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
What were they called? Eugenicists.
Yeah, eugenicists.
Yeah.
But there were Republican eugenicists too, to Teddy Roosevelt. So
yeah.
But we don't want to crush any sacred cows.
Why not?
Because we're really focused on.
Dude,
do you want it
better
than a sacred cow?
Than grilled sacred cow.
Dude, you know what?
A little charbroil, a little barbecue sauce.
You know what? I got to say yes. You're absolutely right. Nothing. Well, actually, I won't say nothing. Bacon is the primo food of all foods. But
what happens when you combine bacon
with sacred cow? That's
sacred. Oh,
probably too much goodness in one place. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I could realistically handle something like that. But in both instances, in both France and in Japan, you have situations where a dude with a knife, both of them are insane. I'm sorry, anybody who thinks for whatever reason, whatever your religion or belief is, that it's cool and okay to walk into a church or what other synagogue, whatever place of worship somebody has and cut off some dude's head, there's something wrong with you, man. I'm sorry. There's something wrong with you. And the guy would not have been able to do that if he lived and they lived in a culture, in a land where gun ownership, gun carrying was perfectly normal and acceptable. What do you think would happen if he went to Switzerland and tried that?
Are you asking me? Or
Yeah, I'm asking you. This is the part where you act like you're on the show.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah, do that. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think much would have happened if he had gone to Switzerland because they're allowed to have assault rifles in their houses, but they don't carry that much. But if he had been in Texas, he would have been mowed down.
Unless he was in Austin, Texas. Austin is not really Texas.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Austin.
Right.
The thing about the attack in Japan, the one in the French church, and the one where the lorry went through the crowds of people, they're all mass murders or terrorist attacks where you don't need a gun. You can do just as much damage. You can create just as much carnage without a firearm. There are many ways of killing people. It's convenient to have a gun if you're going to try to murder people, but it's also convenient for the victims to have guns where they can defend themselves. And that's the equalizer, really. You can't stop a semi going through a crowd of people when, because you have a semi in your back pocket. But if you got a 9mm in your back pocket, you can pop some rounds off at the guy and try to slow him down. Same thing with a knife attack. You can't. Well, you could carry knives, but in England they're making that illegal too.
Yes. I mean, first they got the guns, and now they want the knives.
I've got knives in my head, but
and I won't go.
Guns in my head.
Well, no, you don't have guns in your head. You only have knives if you're in England.
Yes,
and that won't be there for long. That's coming right out of your head.
So the argument that removing firearms from a situation makes things better for everybody is just bunk. And if you talk to cops and you ask them, what would you prefer, to get shot or to get stabbed? 9 times out of 10, if the guy's been on the beat for a while, he knows that a stab wound is far more deadly and far more difficult to recover from than a firearm wound. A bullet hole is all about hydroshock. A knife cut is all about bleeding out. And it's much harder to repair a knife cut and stop the bleeding from a knife cut than it is from a bullet hole. Trauma surgeons have been spoken about this to some extent. You can look up what trauma surgeons and trauma doctors would where their nightmares come, and it's not from bullet wounds. It's from cuts.
I don't know the statistics, but I do know that knives kill way more people per year than guns do.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about that, man?
Dull all the knives. Only allow 2-inch knives.
No more sharp objects?
No, you can have sharp objects.
You can?
But just no knives. No knives more than 2 inches.
Right, so what's going to happen if there were no knives? What would people use next?
Hammers.
The good thing is, prison is a good example of how gun control and knife control works. Because in prison, there are no knifings. Oh, never. No, hold on. Shivs. So if somebody's always going to find something stabby to poke, stabby and pokey to get you with. So the bottom line is that gun control is knife empowerment. That's what I'm going with. Gun control is knife empowerment. If you want more people to get stabbed, this is how you're going to get more people stabbed. And honestly, if I was going to die, I would rather not die. I don't know if you know this about me, but do not have a death wish. I would prefer the shooty shoots that kills me rather than the stabbies, because the stabbies is a painful, slow death. If you get stabbed in the gut, what's your chance of living?
Without medical attention? Pretty much zero.
What if you get shot in the gut?
Same.
Wait, hold on. I thought you said stabbies was more dangerous.
It is. But if you get shot in the gut, you get a gut wound. Doesn't matter what gives you the gut wound. You're going to be experiencing bad things.
Yes, like when you tilt away from the microphone.
Well, you couldn't hear that?
Oh, no. I could almost hear it. I think our audience can almost hear it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. See, when you stay right on top of the microphone and you point your mouth right toward the microphone, 2 to 4 inches for these microphones, then people can hear you. See,
that's cool. Lovely.
By the way, that was for all the other podcasters out there. If you're recording a show and you don't know why someone can't hear you, it's because you're not close enough to the microphone, son.
Well, it wasn't just the microphones today.
Oh, my gosh. We had an awesome time setting up our show, didn't we?
Lovely. That's the 3rd time I've said lovely tonight.
You did say lovely 3 times.
Lovely.
I don't know. What does that mean? 4 times. What does that mean when you said it so many times? Should balloons come down from the bunker ceiling?
Maybe.
And now you're fidgeting with, oh, no. No,
get
ready for later. Oh, you are looking someone up?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to play one of his. He's come armed with special effects for this show, and next time I am going to come armed with my own special effects. Right now, I feel in the land of sound special effecty, I feel naked and vulnerable.
What is the term when you get an infection from the contents of your guts spilling into your body cavity?
Septicemia.
That's the word I've been racking my brain out.
Wow, I couldn't get No, I understand. I get that all the time. A word that I know that my brain is like, no, I'm not cooperating with you.
Whether you get shot in the gut or stabbed in the gut, if you don't get treatment, you're going to die of septicemia.
So it's good to know. So if gut shots,
if you get stabbed in the chest or shot in the chest, you might recover from that, assuming it's not a heart wound. But the stab wound is probably going to bleed you out 5 or 6 times faster.
So, ladies and gentlemen, food for thought. If you're trying to stop someone in their tracks, the gut is probably not stopping them in their tracks.
No, but they will die over time.
But if if you're looking to, I won't go there. I'm not going to say that. You wanted me to say that, but I won't say it. Let's just say, folks, don't shoot anybody in the gut. It's wrong. It's just wrong. There's no reason to shoot anybody in the gut. If somebody is breaking into your home, you aim. What is it? What is the general practice if somebody breaks into your home?
Center mass.
Center mass, man. Center mass. Because your aim is to stop them.
Center mass.
Center mass. Is it 2 in 1 or 3 in 1? What is it?
Unload.
Oh, we're just going with unloading. We're not doing the.
No.
We're not doing the 2 to the chest and 1 to the head thing.
Center mass.
We're not doing
unload.
that. So we're coming up on another fine commercial break here. We've got to pay our bills. And when we come back, I promise to say something nice about Dimitri.
Whoa, no way.
I know. Yeah, it's going to happen. All right. Well,
I get the feeling I'll be let down.
No, it's going to be totally heartfelt.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, this is Shane, the host of Liberty Under Attack Radio on the Freedom Phalanx Radio Network. If you follow LUA, you know that we put out a lot of content, the biggest compilation being my Adventures in Illinois Law series. In this series, I witnessed tyranny firsthand, and it was one of the major reasons I jumped off the minarchist ship and came to true freedom, which is voluntarism. This series is now available in anthology and audiobook format at libertyunderattack.com. Again, that is libertyunderattack.com. Make sure to tune in live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on fprnradio.com.
My fellow sheep, election season is upon us. Are you one of the 12% of Americans who still approves of our government? then we need your help to force the other 88% into compliance. Our democracy depends on it. We're an organization called Citizens Against Too Much Unfettered Freedom, or CATMUF. CATMUF is a bipartisan flock of sheep whose goal is expanding government until nothing else remains. Because the government is here to help you. How can you help CATMUF help you? By only voting for candidates dedicated to expanding government. It's easy. You don't need to study the issues. No matter what a politician says when running for office, they're all dedicated to expanding government. And make sure you tell all your friends and family to vote for more government. Here at CATMUF, we don't care if you vote Democrat or Republican, as long as you vote for candidates committed to growing our federal family. CATMUF, because folks just aren't smart enough to handle real freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Auto. This is National New Shooting Self-Defense's Full Auto.
Were you going to say National Public Radio?
I don't know what I was going to say. This is National Public Radio, and I am Paul Gordon with the one-named wonder, Dimitri.
We would like to share with you how the Democrats are lovely and the Republicans are evil.
Evil!
Yes.
And we mean that scientifically because we love science.
Well, the Democrats, they're so happy.
Well, Hillary Clinton said she loves science.
They love babies.
And science.
And science?
Yeah, she loves science. She says, well, I love science. So I was like, well, super. She loves science, yeah. So I'm going to say something nice about Dimitri. Dimitri, your farts don't smell horrible.
Wow.
You're welcome.
They smell like onions.
Well, no, they don't smell good, but they don't smell horrible. So that's a plus.
Wow, thanks.
So there you go. See, you didn't believe me. You thought I was going to do some, clever little thing. You didn't expect an honest-to-goodness compliment.
I thought I'd be disappointed.
But you weren't.
And look what I got.
You got a heartfelt compliment.
Yes.
So we're going to get into the threat part of our show. We don't. There's going to be 4 segments.
Dun.
What? Thank you. That wasn't even his sound effects machine. That was all mouth.
Can you believe it?
That was pure mouth.
That was good.
That's very good. That's very good. So Jerry Brown has. This is from the Los Angeles Times, and prepare yourself. I don't know. Do you like inside? Do you go fetal when I start to read, or what happens on the inside as I begin reading?
Yeah. Oh, that's easy. On the inside, I get this warm and fuzzy feeling, and then I wake up a few minutes later.
Oh, I see. Okay, but then you still manage to talk about the story, so that's weird. So, Californians who assemble their own weapons from parts they bought or gathered will have to apply for a state-issued serial number under a law signed last Friday by Governor Jerry Brown. Brown signed Assembly Bill 857, which imposes a new mandate on anyone who buys components that can be made into a fully functional firearm. Now, first of all,
so if I buy a pipe and put a bullet inside of it and hit it with a rock, does that have to get a serial number?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a firearm.
Yeah.
It's fired at arms sometimes and fired by arms at times, right? It's
okay.
You throw a rock and it's... So Democrats pushed through the bill last month as part of a sweeping package of proposals. Now, I love this phraseology here. This is so funny. And this is written by the Los Angeles Times, so remember you're basically reading state media here. Inspired by recent shootings. I think they really they needed to rephrase that. It was not inspired by recent shootings. The recent shootings were what gave it the justification, because they used as they always do, they used the fear of the random chance that you might actually be a victim of one of these shootings, which is actually less than Dimitri doing well in this show. It's that statistically improbable. You know what I'm saying? You actually, because you live it, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? What's this?
I'm going for special effects.
Are you going?
I have to.
Well, you got that's what you got. You got special effects. That's your game. Your game is special effects. I understand.
It's going to have to be.
Now go ahead. I'm waiting. You can't find the right special effects for this.
Oh, I'm going to find the right one for you.
Yeah, he's totally bombing. Folks, he's bombing. He's bombing. He's bombing. Wait, no, I can't say that. Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that's nice. But in all seriousness, it is incredibly remote, the chance that you will be a victim of a mass shooting. I think that maybe you'd be more likely to be struck by lightning 4 times in one day. I don't know what the exact statistics are, but let's just say it's something, because it is kind of on that level of ridiculousness. But there's more to this legislation than that. But let's just talk about the idea that dudes are going to actually comply with this. The kind of, and dudettes, let's shout out to the dudettes, dudes and dudettes.
I know people who live in California.
Do you?
Yes, who've owned firearms for forever. And every couple of years, their laws change. And you know what they do in order to comply to their laws? They ignore them.
So it's the ignorance, the ignoring policy.
Well, because you're living your life. You've got a gun in your closet, and somebody passes a law somewhere in some legislative body, and you're living your life. And you're not thinking, oh, what new laws were passed on this piece of private property that I own? Oh, all the laws changed. Yeah, I got a letter in the mail advising me of this. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Yeah, there's no way to manage this.
And they know that.
Right.
Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity here because I don't want to get ahead of you. Do you see why this legislation was created? What's the real purpose?
The real purpose is if they're coming after you and they find this on you, they have more ammunition to go after you.
Yeah, it's just another tool in the old I want to lock you up and take you away box.
Correct. And if they want to lock you up bad enough, now they've got more ammunition, pardon the pun.
That's it. Well, no, there's no pardoning on that. Yeah. That is not a pun. This is ammunition. It's very appropriate to say.
Correct. So the powers that be can target you for being a firearms owner, and obviously they are afraid of people who have firearms because they are empowered individuals typically. They are not part of the masses who are easily swayed by emotional arguments.
Right. They're obviously they're already out there on the fringe, so to speak. The ghost gunners. We salute you, by the way. We salute the ghost gunners. Do we not?
We do.
Totally. There's no way that any of those folks are going to comply with this, and these guys absolutely know it. On the other end of this as well, it's not just if you become their target and you happen to be a person that takes it upon yourself to exercise your fundamental natural right to self-defense. It would be probably pretty easy to just kind of plant something that looks like it might be a homemade gun.
What was it, about a year ago they found a house with like 30,000 guns in it in California? You remember that?
Was it 30,000 guns? I remember. However, number of. Well, I don't think it was 30,000, but it was in the thousands. It was a few thousand.
3,000? Was it
whatever?
1,500? It was crazy.
Whatever it was. All I know is I found myself. I don't think it was. It was probably like 1,500. But I know I saw the pictures. And I was like, and most of us, we who love guns, we who own guns, whether we buy guns for defense, collection, or range toys, whatever the reason, I think most of us, when we saw that, we were like, you want that, right? You want that in your home, right?
Why did that guy have him in his house?
I am not sure I've heard different stories, but it could be that he was selling them.
I'm Googling this right now.
Oh, you're Googling it right now? Why don't you get on that Google? Get that Google up right now.
It's slow. Dude, this bunker sucks.
We're in the bunker, by the way. That's where we do the show from. We do it in Paul's bunker. And
nothing's coming up.
At any rate, Where are you going with the dude with the guns?
Well, talking about ghost guns, he's not going to register any of these guns. He's not going to.
Were they ghost guns?
Well, that's the question.
I didn't think they were ghost guns.
1,200 guns found in L.A. home after divorce of man's. What? After discovery of man's body. So
dude is dead.
Dude is dead. He had 1,200 guns.
Tell me, if you knew the dude and nobody knew him and he was like an orphan dude, and then he died and you knew he died, and
I would have to honor him.
I would have to honor him too.
I would honor him.
I would honor him. I would definitely honor him. Probably not going to say how I would honor him.
Yes.
But let's just say there was some coveting going on with some of those pictures.
But his ex-wife said that he would always say that he worked for some secret, not paramilitary, but some secret police force. He supplied police agencies with firearms.
He had a lot of different types of guns, though, right?
Yeah.
And
so back in the day, before you had video capability on your phone, if a cop shot you by mistake, oopsie, we need a 22.
Right. Oopsie, we need a ghost gun.
We need a 9mm.
We need our own ghost gun.
Oopsie, hey.
Actually, they don't want ghost guns. They want traceable guns, but just not to them.
Hey, Peter, do you have anything in 40 cal? Should be, a hexagonal, so Glock would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you covered there, Frank. I got you covered.
Yeah, baby.
Let's hope that's not who he was, because then that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but you don't know. And, a lot of these fringe people who are ghost gunners are ghost lots of thingers. They're not just worried about the government and hoarding guns and trying to produce guns without serial numbers. They're trying to live off the grid. They're rejecting the greater culture, and
they're checking out,
and they're bypassing as much as they can.
One of my Facebook friends commented something recently. This is a little bit off topic, but it's not. It's kind of following what you said, and it's one of the reasons why this law happened. They are absolutely targeting the people who have decided that they're checking out. This dude is in some sort of custody dispute, I think, of some sort, and the judge, I think it was a judge, informed this person that they're looking at his voting record and they're trying to discern the degree to which he is committed to the community. And if he hasn't voted, then they're looking at that as a strike against him to be able to have more visitation with his kids.
Wow.
Yeah, they really... This is not the land of the free.
Wow.
Yeah, they really don't want you to...
You better keep voting.
You better keep voting, because if you don't, and you get divorced, bad things could happen. I mean, first of all, he's a dude. That's a strike against him. And then...
Is he a white dude?
I'm not going to say anything more.
And he's heterosexual.
I won't say anything more.
Man. He's a hetero white dude.
Right.
Who hasn't been voting very much.
I'll just say whether he's voted at all or not much, whatever, it doesn't matter. Even if he voted all the time, the point is that is what's being looked at, that those kinds of things are happening, that people, and this is in part what this law is about. It's about
and God forbid,
making it official so that they have a way, if they find you, and see, they know, they kind of, they're not always right, but they kind of know the people who fit that pattern.
Well, your ex-wife would want to really, or your soon-to-be ex-wife, I'm sure, is on the warpath. So she's going to say, he used to order parts on the internet.
He ordered a lot of pipes.
And he ordered a lot of black gun-looking things, and he used to smoke a lot of stuff in the basement.
Yeah, I don't know what this means, but he said something about Oh, what was the phrase? Defense Distributed. That's the company with the printing the receivers.
So,
Cody Wilson.
Yeah, again, all the laws are created to target those who go after the power, who try to mitigate and bypass.
Well, these guys aren't even going after the power. They're checking out. But in a sense, if you're checking out, you're going after the power because you're showing other people that maybe you don't need this as much as
correct. You're targeting the power structure. Imagine that you lived in medieval Northern Europe and you said, "Yeah, this king thing ain't for me."
Oh my gosh!
Even
if you were like, what you wouldn't even have to say
this
that because we're not we're not talking about getting rid of kings here, but if you stood up and you said, the king is cool and all, but maybe about 75% of the laws that he's kind of passed are kind of jerky, we shouldn't follow him. That would be enough. You wouldn't have to stand up and say, get rid of the king. All you have to do is stand up and say, hey,
I'm not saying get rid of the king.
Let's limit the king.
I don't need a king. I'm my own king in my own castle. Don't send your men here to collect taxes.
Oh, well,
that would get you drawn and quartered.
Yeah, and during the English Reformation, for instance.
And it wouldn't be the king that would show up to do it. He would send out his tax collector, he would send out a judge, he would send out his right-hand man.
Well, his right-hand man would send out eventually. It would be the folks with official titles that are licensed with their official titles to carry lethal weapons.
And they would have assault
and
weapons.
Approach you. Whatever of the day, yes.
Yeah, correct. Assault weapons, like a 4-foot sword, a broadsword.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Or an axe.
Right. Regardless, they would come to coercively
and if you
bring
had,
you back into the fold.
And if you had an assault weapon, a broadsword or an axe, or even a crossbow, they would hang you upon sight.
Right, and we're just
and
about.
That's where we're going.
We're coming up on our last break here, and I'll end it on this note about the English Reformation. In the English Reformation, before the English Reformation, there were always laws that ordered you to go to church. You actually had to. As a matter of fact, little known factoid: the American colonies also had those laws. It was a violation not to go to church on Sunday, and for a large part, they were not enforced all that much. Just like this law won't be enforced except where and when it has to be, to target someone. But once folks started standing up and saying, you know what, that whole only you get to read from the Bible and tell everybody else what the rest of it means thing, we're going to go ahead and translate the Bible in our own language and worship in our own way. And all of a sudden they started enforcing the laws. And they would show up and you'd get arrested and fined and a series of worsening penalties and until you complied and so this is the same thing. This is like, instead of a law that says you can't go to church, this is a law that says that you can't decide to take it upon yourself to build your own method of human defense.
So it's equivalent to some peasant in Northern Europe figuring out how to create a crossbow and walking out into the woods.
Oh my gosh, a crossbow oh wow, that would be.
Or even a bow and arrow.
No, a crossbow would be serious if you could figure that one out.
And being caught with a crossbow out in the woods hunting for deer to feed your family.
Yeah, you'd be burnt toasties.
Right. Today, if you have an assault rifle and you're in the woods trying to feed your family, you're in the same burnt toasties.
Even if you're not feeding your family, even if you're just sitting in the comfort of your home and your wife happens to call a domestic dispute, or the other way around, the husband could call on you, it could be a woman as well, and the cops show up and they know who you are, and they know that you're not really one of the acceptables.
Well, because
they're
going to
be a little bit more. You don't vote. You don't show up for church. You don't whatever.
PTA meetings,
whatever it is,
town council.
Yeah,
you've checked out.
You've checked out, and so when
you don't want to be part of our club.
Now imagine the dudes that are out there, the dudes and dudettes that are out there on the front lines, challenging the system, and they get in the crosshairs, whether they happen to be drunk one night or whatever it is. Wherever a situation arises where the police have an ostensible, vague reason to
an opening,
they're going to look for everything. And I just, you and I both know how easy it is to make just a simple slam fire gun. It's not rockets. It literally is not rocket science. And almost anything lying around in your house, if it's near enough to each other, they could probably make a case that you intended to put them together. That's another thing. The beauty about guns, about homemade guns, is you can have all the parts ready to go and in a moment's notice, boom, put them together. I mean, for simple slam fire type deals. So I guess we'll go to break. And when we come back on the other side, Dimitri has promised that he is going to say something nice about me. Really looking forward to it. And you got to be nice, because this is the last segment, and the last segment, we like to give people a little hope. And we'll
I'll say something nice.
What does freedom mean? Tune in to LRN.FM to find out. LRN.FM is the Liberty Radio Network, a collection of live talk radio and podcasts, all coming from a principled pro-liberty perspective. LRN.FM show hosts aren't left, right, or conspiracy kooks. You can tune in 24/7 to LRN.FM via your phone, computer, satellite, and more. Listen free anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you sick and tired of peaceful people being banned from so-called Liberty events? How about Liberty festivals that are more regulated than a government housing area? Now you can do something about it. The Michigan Peace and Liberty Coalition is proud to announce the 4th annual Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest. It will be held Friday, August 26th through Monday the 29th at the Circle Pine Center in Delton, Michigan, just outside of Kalamazoo. There will be canoeing, kayaking, hiking, fishing, swimming, presentations, discussions, and bacon. Lots of bacon. This event is both adult and family friendly, and best of all, no overbearing central planners. There will be free Freedom Fiends and Bipcop merch while supplies last. And don't forget the longer leashes for the Bow Wows and Woof Woofs. Round up your friends and family members and get them registered today at mplfest.org. That's Mike, Papa, Lima, Fest.org.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Auto with Paul Gordon and the one named wonder, Dimitri. And this Full Auto is brought to you by New Shooting Self-Defense. And we'll just, before we get to this last segment, let's just dispense with a couple things here. You need to check us out on our Facebook page, New Shooting Self-Defense. And you can also find us at Spreaker, Spreaker.com. I think it's Spreaker.com/show/Full Auto. If not, you can just go into Spreaker and you could do a search for Full Auto, and you should find us. And also our YouTube channel. You can search for New Shooting Self-Defense on YouTube, and you'll find the YouTube channel. We will have a Full Auto YouTube channel as well. And I am working on a website. It's not up and ready, but I am working on a website, fullautoshow.com. If you go there right now, you won't see anything.
Dude, what's the holdup?
That's it. That's
What's the holdup? Just get it done.
I needed to. Why don't I have the website up?
Our fans are waiting.
Because our 3 fans.
3. I thought it was 2.
No, it's
Who's
3.
the third? Is that your mom?
No, it's our dog, Max.
Dude, I'd like to say something nice about you.
Okay, go ahead.
Look, Paul, when you smile, you have the loveliest yellow teeth I've ever seen. Dude, there's something just gorgeous.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Hold on.
Color yellow.
I'm getting a little verklempt here.
I
did not expect you to. I thought you were going to be mean and say something really nasty, but you did. You turned it into a good thing.
That is like the loveliest yellow color I've ever seen.
And you know what else is really lovely? When you speak into the microphone. You should try it. I think because you were away from the microphone, nobody heard that, and that's good.
So would you like me to repeat myself?
I would not. I think that we're good. I don't know about everybody else. Well, I do. I think we're good.
The only thing nicer is when you have something green stuck in there. So the green and the yellow.
It's nice. It plays well
They're not
together.
exactly complementary colors, but they work.
It's kind of
well
analogous.
Yeah, they work
analogous.
really nice.
I think they're analogous. Are they analogous?
Yeah, because green has yellow in it. So
yeah.
So it's very, very lovely.
You're the color theory guy, aren't you?
I am. Big fan of Joseph Albers. Big fan.
That went over everybody's head, including your own, because you don't even know
There's
who that guy is.
There's like 4 people out there who know.
You don't even know who he is. You just found him in an encyclopedia like 2 days ago, and you're like, I gotta use this name somewhere and sound smart. And there you go, you did it. Yay!
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It worked.
See, I said something nice about him. So this last story, this is a story of hope.
Oh boy.
And this is, I'm reading this on mrctv.org. Pokemon Go, the hit smartphone game, which has users explore places to catch. Well, I don't care about that. I'm just going to skip over that whole. It looks like they wrote a Pokemon pitch. I think everybody is already playing Pokemon now. By the way, Dimitri, do you play Pokemon? I know this is an important question before I get to the redemption here, the hope that is within.
Not at all.
You do not play Pokemon Go. I also do not play Pokemon Go. It's not that I'm not willing. I didn't want to do it by myself. I wanted to do it with my daughter, but my daughter left me down, and she won't play Pokemon Go with me. And so I'm Pokemon Go.
Well, that's because she's a little more mature than you.
She actually is. Yeah, so that is not a surprise.
Yes.
A group of players in Las Vegas were almost robbed Monday morning by an armed suspect and his underage driver. Thankfully, one player with a concealed carry permit took matters into his own hands, drawing his gun and exchanging fire with the suspects before he and his friends could be looted. Oh, before they could be looted. Okay, so he did it before they could be looted. Police told the Associated Press that the would-be armed robber and one of the Pokemon Go players, it's unknown if this is the gun owner, were hospitalized with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds, and the charges would most certainly be brought against the suspect and his juvenile accomplice. It is unclear whether this was a targeted robbery like the one in Missouri a few weeks ago, where players were lured to a certain location known as Pokestops, then robbed at gunpoint. However, the AP, well, I'm not going to read the rest of it. Anyway, I think the moral of the story is when you play Pokemon Go, first of all, stop playing. No, I'm just kidding. I actually think Pokemon Go is a cool idea. I support it. I'm not one of those wankers that likes to write on their Facebook page some comment, derisive comment about, well, you know, I would play Pokemon Go, but I just remembered I have a life. That's why you're posting on Facebook every 5 minutes, but that's another matter altogether. So what happens in Pokemon Go, you know, you're walking and you've got your head, well, your eyeballs on the ground or wherever. You're not looking around you. You don't have a lot of good situational awareness, and you're going to fixed areas where everybody knows you're going. I mean, on another note, the Pokemon Go people that design this game and they create Pokestops in the middle of nowhere. And Poke stores and gyms or whatever the heck they are.
They live.
Who are the Wizards who came up with that?
They live in a different world than the average person.
The Pokies?
Yeah. No, the people who created the game, because they obviously don't live in the real world. Yeah, you're going to put a character in the middle of a freaking war zone, and you're going to expect people to show up there to capture the character?
But the bottom line is this dude probably not fully aware of his surroundings as he should be, I'm willing to bet. But not necessarily, but probably. And if this dude doesn't have
situational awareness
and
gets run over by
other
a truck,
awareness, gun awareness, like he has one on him, seriously, if more people were carrying,
Packing.
and you knew that you were in that culture where more people are packing, you probably are going to be less likely to try to roll up on someone and say, "Give me your stuff." Whereas now it's kind of it's frowned upon if you like guns, if you carry guns. It's a cultural no to, unless of course you're talking to people like us, in which case it's no problem. But we are the unfortunate minority. We are actually the real minorities that are suffering in this quote unquote country today.
Those who choose to check out.
No. People who actually just, I'm developing a new political ideology, and it's not conservative, it's not progressive or anything like that. It's called the "get off my lawnism," which is basically the political ideology is that you get off my lawn, unless you have a good reason to be there, and I'll go ahead and decide if it's a good reason or not.
So Jehovah's Witnesses are not welcome?
No, they're welcome. They're fun. I enjoy having dialogues with them.
So you mean the state should be off your lawn?
Yeah, get off my lawn. Yes, exactly. Unless I beat up somebody or stole from somebody or did something that there was a victim on the other end of what I did, get off my lawn. It's a simple philosophy, really. I think that's one that you could actually understand and embrace. It's a simple thing. What do you think?
We need T-shirts made up saying, "Get off my lawn."
That's spelled Goml. Gomel. We're Gomels. It's time to become a Gomel. So next week we will.
I see you thought this out.
Actually, I didn't think it out.
What are you talking about next week?
What are we going to do next week? Hold on.
We're going to read some more. We're going to read some more articles.
Next week, we're going to read some more. Hey, you know what? Next week, maybe you should read the articles.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Oh, you got to learn to read first. I think I can help you. I think I can help you.
What are you,
with
racist?
that.
Just because I'm an immigrant, you're saying I can't read?
Yes.
Dude, I can read in 3 languages. How many languages can you read in? You can read in American.
I can read American. I'm a very good American reader.
You are.
What are the 3 languages? I know of 2. What's the third?
Ich verstehe Deutsch.
That's bullcrap. You can read fatherland language.
I can.
Can you read the supreme race?
I can't tell you what it says, but I can
read it. I can sound it out. I know what it's supposed to sound like. You know what? I'm like that with Spanish. I can and French. I don't know what it means, but I kind of know the way it's supposed to sound. I got the sound down, but that's it.
Why aren't we ending this
So why don't we end this show?
Oh, tell us what we're doing next week. Yeah, we're all bated breath here. Go ahead.
Well, next week we are.
Don't hesitate. Just do it.
Actually, next week, Dimitri is going to be running the show. And
Nice.
he let me know
Finally.
that he's got a lot of plans and surprises and exciting. He's going to be working on a comedy skit, and he's got a really interesting audio play that he's working on that's going to be ready with all kinds of sound effects. And I'm really looking forward to that.
And
I know you're not going to let our
now-
readers down.
Between now and then, I will be bringing Dentine here. Brush your
Dentine.
breath, Dentine. Remember that? It
I
also has
do
a
remember
whitening
that.
agent
Yes.
in it.
Yes, it does. Oh, you like whitening agents, do you? Right. I thought so. You know what? I'll end it on that, on the fact that you like whitening agents.
dude.
That's who you are. And folks, we'll see you next week. Be sure that you join us on.
So wait a minute. Because I'm almost white, you're saying you're going to
Be
get
sure
me
you join
whitening
us on
agent?
the. I'm not getting you.
I
You're
am
getting
not.
me.
I am
wanna.
not
You're
Michael
looking
Jackson.
to make everyone white.
I am not going
I
to turn out to
understand.
be a Michael Jackson.
Got to make them all white. Got to make them all white. That's what he always
That
says.
is wrong.
He calls me at 1 a.m. He's like, Paul, we got to make them all white. And I just hang up. So join us next week at the same time, Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here on Spreaker, and look for us. Be sure that you sign up for Spreaker and look for us on. Just do the search for Full Auto Show. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook both through our News Shooting Self-Defense Facebook page, and it might be a little easier. We also post our stuff on our flagship We are part of the State of Wake Network, and you can go to stateofwake.com and find all the links to all the stuff that we do through that network. Until then, this is Paul Gordon. I'm here with Dimitri, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Full Auto is intended for purely entertainment purposes and in relation to any actual person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. We are not responsible for the results that might befall you should you ever actually take our advice about anything. Full Auto is a BitCot no-gov licensed show. This means you are free to reuse this content anywhere you see fit, so long as you are not a representative or advocate of government.